Let me tell you about the worst meeting I ever sat in. 90 minutes, 14 people, and a calendar invite that just said, quick sync. We went in circles about a decision nobody in the room could actually make. And at the end, someone said, great, let's set up a follow-up. That was the entire outcome. 90 minutes of my life for another meeting. But here's what stuck with me. There was one guy in that room, quiet, senior, who slipped out after 20 minutes and nobody blinked. Nobody thought he was rude. If anything, they respected him more. It took me years to work out what he knew that I didn't. And it comes down to 5 small moves, the exact words and the psychology underneath them, that let you take your time back without ever looking difficult. Okay, be honest. You're in a meeting right now, aren't you? And it could have been an email. Look, the average professional burns about 31 hours a month in these things. That's a whole work week gone. But here's the part nobody tells you. The people who actually look powerful in meetings aren't the ones talking the most. They're the ones quietly taking their time back. And nobody even notices. So let me show you how. 5 psychological tricks. And number 4, that one changes how senior people see you. Stick around for it. Real quick, so we're clear. I'm not going to tell you to just walk out of the meeting. You can't and you shouldn't. These are subtle. It's the exact words to say and the reason they work, so you get your time back and somehow come off sharper, not lazier. Because here's the truth this whole channel is built on. It's rarely the most skilled person who gets listened to. It's the one who communicates with control. And meetings are where that's tested every single day. So if your calendar feels like it belongs to everyone except you, these 5 moves hand it back. And here's why meetings drag in the first place. There's a rule called Parkinson's law. Work expands to fill the time you give it. Book an hour, and the conversation swells to fill that hour, whether it needs to or not. So most of that time isn't decisions. It's filler, dressed up as collaboration. Which means the real skill isn't sitting through it patiently. It's quietly shrinking the filler, and that's exactly what these moves do. Trick 1. The pre-frame. The moment a meeting starts, or even in your reply to the invite, you drop a hard stop. And notice, you don't ask, you tell. Something like, I've got a hard stop at 2:30, so let's make sure we hit the big decisions first. 2 things just happened. 1, everybody's now working around your clock. And 2, you sound like the person who cares about getting things decided. Which reads as senior. Now, the words matter here. Hard stop. Not, I might have to leave early. Not, I'm kind of busy. That soft language just invites people to talk you out of it. A hard stop is you closing the door. Politely. Say it once at the top and watch the whole meeting speed up around you. This single move can save you the last 15 minutes of nearly every meeting on your calendar. Picture it. The meeting's booked for an hour. You open with, I've got a hard stop at 2:30. Suddenly, the small talk evaporates. Someone pulls up the agenda and you're making real decisions by minute 5. Same meeting, half the time, and you barely said a thing. Trick 2, the Primacy Strike. And this one's a little sneaky. In the first 5 minutes, you say one, just one, sharp thing, not a bunch of comments. 1. A good question works great. Before we go deeper, what's the one decision we need to walk out of here with? Boom! Now you're locked in everyone's head as the clear thinker in the room. And here's the payoff. For the rest of the meeting, you can ease off. Think about your real work. Breathe. And nobody reads you as checked out because their impression of you got set back in minute 3. That's just how memory works. We judge people by what they do first. So front load your presence, then quietly take the rest of the hour back. Watch someone who's mastered this. They ask one crisp question at minute 2, then barely speak again. And at the end, the manager turns to them and says, "What do you think?" They're remembered as the sharpest person in the room on the strength of 10 seconds. Trick 3, and this is the one I use the most, redirect to action. You know the moment. The meeting's going in circles, the same point said 4 different ways. 2 people basically arguing about something they already agree on. That's your cue. You cut the loop with one simple question. So what's the decision here? Or, okay, who owns this and by when? Or my favorite, is this something we can just settle offline? Every one of those drags the room out of talking and into deciding. And that's the whole trick. Talking can go forever, but a decision has an ending. The second you put a name and a deadline on something, everyone's brain files it as done, and the energy to keep circling just dies. Do that 2 or 3 times in a dragging meeting, and you'll end 15, 20 minutes early, done regularly. I watched a colleague do this in a budget meeting that had been circling for 40 minutes. She just said, okay, what are we actually deciding and who signs off? 10 seconds of silence. Then a decision. Meeting over. And everyone in the room quietly thanked her for it. Trick 4. The one senior people quietly respect. The graceful offload. This is how you get yourself out of a meeting or off a topic without any awkwardness. And the whole secret is 3 words. State, don't explain. Let me show you the difference because it's night and day. Here's how most people do it. Sorry, I don't really think I need to be here for this part. I've got a lot on my plate, so yeah, if that's okay, maybe I could. You feel how weak that is? Now here's the move. This part's better without me. I'll trust your call and catch the notes. Thanks, everyone. Shorter, warmer, and it just sounds senior. Because you didn't beg for permission, you made a decision and told them. That rambling first version? Every extra word of excuse makes you look less sure of yourself. So, one clean sentence, a thank you, and you're out. 40 minutes back, and you looked more in control doing it. I had a manager who'd say just 5 words, I'll let you all decide, and then leave. No apology, no explanation. And every single time the room took him more seriously, not less. That's the whole trick, in one sentence. Trick 5. And this might be the strongest because it takes your time back before you even lose it. The calendar boundary. Think about your default right now. An invite shows up, you accept it, everybody does. We're going to change that. Next time some vague, no-agenda meeting lands on your calendar, you reply, polite in writing, something like, happy to join. Could you share the agenda and what we're trying to decide? If it's mostly an update, I'm glad to just read the notes and save us both the time. And here's what happens. Half the time, that meeting quietly disappears. Or you get bumped to optional, and, which, let's be honest, is exactly what you wanted. And notice, you didn't refuse anything. You raised the bar. And the people who raise the bar on other people's time? Everyone assumes they're the busiest, most important person in the building. A friend of mine started replying to every vague invite with one line, just asking for the agenda. Within a month, about a third of his meetings simply stopped appearing on his calendar. He went from a solid wall of blocks to actual space to think. Okay, one bonus. Trick 6. Because it's the one that protects all the others. Call it the parking lot. When someone drags the meeting off track with a tangent, an interesting one, but not why you're all here, you don't argue and you don't get sucked in. You say, that's a great point. Let's put it in the parking lot and pick it up separately. Look at what you just did. You validated them so nobody's offended, but you also quietly refuse to let their tangent eat everyone's time. You sound generous and in control at the same moment. Do this a couple of times and people start seeing you as the one who keeps meetings on the rails, which weirdly is one of the fastest ways to get noticed by the people above you. Okay, let's lock it in. 1. The pre-frame. Drop a hard stop up front. 2. The primacy strike. Own the first 5 minutes, then take the rest back. 3. Redirect to action. What's the decision? Who owns it? By when? 4. The graceful offload. State, don't explain. 5. The calendar boundary. Raise the bar before you ever say yes. And your bonus, the parking lot. Park the tangents instead of drowning in them. 6 moves, and look. None of this makes you the difficult one. It makes you the person who's clearly in control, because you are. Remember the big idea. Your skills get you into the room, but the way you communicate is what earns you respect in it. So pick one, just one, and use it in your next meeting. If you got even one line out of this, subscribe, because next I'm breaking down the exact phrases that make you sound senior the moment you open your mouth. I'll see you there.